Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. Welcome, one and all, whether this is the first time you have ever clicked onto one of these readings or whether you are returning. Welcome, welcome. Today we have a wonderful reading for you. We are finding out which magical realm is currently guiding you and what do they want you to know, what messages they have, what messages do they have for you. So as always, we have the three piles, but today we're doing something a little bit different. So we have on each of the piles, this represents pile 1. This is your shell for pile 1. And this is your shell for pile 2. And this is your shell for pile 3. So as always, take as much time as you need to make a decision about which pile you want based on the energy that's in front of you. The more aligned you are with your own soul and your own intuition, the more these readings resonate. And of course, general disclaimer, these are general readings, so take what resonates and don't worry about what doesn't. If one pile doesn't resonate, feel free to take another. If there are no messages for you today, don't worry, check back at another time. I'm sure there will be. So let's get right into your reading. So I'm going to take pile 2 and pile 3, shell 2 and shell 3 aside just for now. So if you chose this beautiful shell here for pile 1, then this is your reading. And again, which magical realm is guiding you? So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to find out which magical realm is guiding you, and then we're going to find out what they want you to know. So I have various different cards here from different oracle decks, and they all represent different magical realms. So I want to go ahead and close my eyes so I'm not influenced in any way as we decipher which magical realm is in and around you. Now, these could be energies that are just in and around you for now. These could be guides that have been with you for a while. These could even be brand new guides. We're going to pull quite a few of them because chances are you have more than one magical realm around you. And then, of course, we will get you their messages. So let's start with Palladians. So unconditional love, excitement and laughter. That's beautiful. That's your first card. So obviously there's galactic energy in and around you. And then you have Spark of Design. And this one says, I recognize the divine spark within me and recognize I am part of all creation. So this is ancient magic. There's wisdom of ancient magic there. That could be Merlin. And you've also got the moon, which is, again, ancient magic coming into sort of the modern era. But being born and integrated with this kind of energy. A lot of you could be alchemists too, taking baseline energies and transforming them into something higher, or definitely something different. You have the Galactic Federation. So a lot of you have starseed energy. And this is the most predominant energy for you right now. Because you have the wisdom card too. So you have this ancient magic, this beautiful ancient magic, and you have this ancient wisdom, again, Merlin. This goes into a direct source of the sort of the unknown, the divine feminine, the wisdom of divine feminine. And of course you have specifically Palladian here. But it doesn't need to be because you have the Galactic Federation, and then you have starseed energy, galactic energy, and also there's a feeling of Atlantis energy too, wisdom from that, and that goes along with the hidden knowledge or the wisdom that's been somewhat lost to a degree, but you hold it. You would hold that energy within your DNA. So you have that spark of the divine. So all of this energy is within you. And these guides are representative of this energy that's already within you. So let's find out what messages they have for you today. I'm going to put those aside because, we don't want to get rid of your guides. So Again, we've taken lots of different messages and put them all together, and then of course we will be going in with more specifics as we pull in the tarot. So this is a slightly different reading, but I wanted to change it up today. So let's see what the starseed energy and this ancient wisdom of the unknown, or some people say the occult, but some people have a problem with that word. It depends where you stand on that. But this ancient alchemist wisdom and the starseed wisdom coming in for you. Let's see what they have to say. All right, so your first message is ask and receive. You know, showing up for what it is that you want, not being afraid to ask for it, and declare it too, to be out there using your voice. The great gathering, it's all coming together. Intuitive hits, soul tribe. Wonderful. So your guides are definitely there in and around you. The vibration of compassion shines through my every cell, and you've got compassion here is your third card. And then divine support. So they're definitely around you. So we'll get you those messages today, whatever it is they want you to know. Peace, coming in with peace, with compassion. And you have Akasha here. Your guidance is divinely guided. So one of the main beautiful messages that you are divinely guided. Some of you have felt as though recently that you sort of come out of this guidance a little bit, sort of fallen out of it. A friend of mine used to say years and years ago, you can't fall out of the universe. Now we feel that way sometimes, and the disconnection can feel that way, and that's very real. Not absolutely validating how you feel. But the compassion is there, the guidance is there, the divine timing is there. So for anybody that's out there that's, wondering what's going on, if they're where they need to be, their divine path, your divine path is absolutely being led out in front of you. And there are ways for you to work with the universe in a more diverse way, for you to feel more protected, for you to feel more connected. They are there at every moment. And the real message here is to understand that they don't just come in and around you when you feel as though you need them. Sometimes we feel as though we sort of hit rock bottom. Whatever that means to each and every one of us. Everybody has a different way of feeling that way, but when you feel that way and you feel as though there's sort of no hope, that's usually when we really reach out. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no right or wrong with any of that. And in fact, in those moments, there's usually this incredible understanding that we can release into this surrendering moment, because we've done everything we can. So there's a lot of power in that moment. But there really is this understanding that you don't have to wait for that moment to ask for help. Now, when it comes to Earth is a free will zone. It really is. Anybody can really do what they want, and that's just the way it was set up, and that's the way it's designed. So you have to ask for help in order to have some kind of intervention. That's not to say that they're not in and around you and guiding you anyway, but asking for help. And doing that every day, stepping up and saying every day, I want to be committed to the highest self of myself, whatever is for the highest good for me today. Because if we're moving within this alignment of higher self, then we are really not in any way, shape or form just open to any lessons that are coming to us. We're saying we want to go with the highest version of ourselves. We want to go with the highest timeline that we have for ourselves. So you're not running around going through and looping through old kind of energy to work through it endlessly. The energy around us right now, the collective energy, is accelerating in many ways. So there's really no reason to have to work through all of this old energy constantly. in this looping fashion in the way that we did a couple of years ago. So this is a way for you to really step forward in a very particular way and work with your energy differently, perhaps a little bit more efficiently, with yourself in mind, with this confidence in mind. And it's not a case of, I want to get there quickly, or I don't want to learn the lessons. But there's no reason for us to loop round constantly with, lessons that have already been learned. We don't need to have various different degrees of how we learn these lessons. We can just step up, learn the lesson, and move forward. So for some of you, there is this essence of having compassion for yourself as you feel as though you've fallen sort of off the wagon, or fallen out of your path, and understanding that you keep going through the same sort of thing and wondering if you'll ever get through it. Of course you will. You absolutely will. And there's, without a shadow of a doubt, intense divine support for you. There is a way out of this, though. And there, again, it's about working with your energy differently and recognizing that you've gotten to the point in your wisdom, you've gotten to the point in your path and in your for want of a better term, healing. Again, healing does not mean that you're not already whole. It's just the healing aspect of self is to heal the trauma that we've been through, so we can acknowledge and work from that wholeness of self. And that's what you have been working steadily toward. But it's, for some of you, it's been 5 steps forwards, 2 steps backwards. Why not just the 5 step forward, right? So this is a way for you to hold compassion for yourself, first of all, and everything that you're going through, and really, really work together with your intuition and with your guides in a very, very powerful way. Now, this does mean, Palwan, this does mean that there is an essence of surrendering. Now, for some of you, the surrendering didn't necessarily come naturally. It's something that you had to learn. That's perfectly reasonable, and honestly, that's human for the most part, because you were used to doing things yourself. And honestly, for a lot of you, you had a lot of people around you that did let you down. So you got used to saying, I'm just going to do it. It'll be quicker. It'll be more efficient. And actually, you were correct at that time. Now, for you, it's really about understanding that the soul path that you have and the energy that you have around you currently is not the energy that you had before. So the people that are around you are trustworthy. You can sense their trustworthiness, and also your guides are there in a much more powerful way than they were before. Not that they weren't powerful before, but your connection to them has shifted. There's been a lot more of those surrendering moments, particularly in the last 2 years, and I presume that's been across the board for the most part, for most of us. But in those surrendering moments, you have been letting go a little bit of that control in each and every moment. And in that control letting go, there's an essence of alignment that's come in. And you've been building on this alignment until you've gotten to the point where you are aligned. Now, most of you just need a reminder that you are aligned. But also the other thing is that the way in which you're moving forward, the way in which you're working with your life currently means that it requires surrender. It requires faith as you move forward, because you are in unknown territory and you are not constantly, and this is what you're working towards, working through the old anymore, gotten to the point where the old has shifted through. You've learned those lessons. You're in something brand new. Now, for those of you who have taken a really beautiful, and this is well done for all of you who have done this or are thinking of doing this, of taking the road less traveled. Now, that could be in any way, shape or form what you do for a living, taking a chance moving here, taking a chance on this person, this situation, something that it would have been, it's a situation across the board, and each and every one of you will be different again. But it's a situation that you probably wouldn't have done, something that you wanted to do before, but you didn't do before, and now you're thinking about doing it. For some of you, it's a creative project that you're finally putting your energy into, and you're ready to do it. You're in the first stages of doing this. Hold the faith. You have never been here before. The fact that you're stepping up and doing this is amazing. You are supported in ways that you could not even fathom. And also, again, what we said at the beginning, we need to come back to and really solidify this energy. Your energy of how you work and how you are supported is working very differently than it did before. So ask and you shall receive. Keep the peace and the compassion within yourself. It's all about having that faith that it's going to be okay. Now, It may look a little bit different as you move forward on your path. You may end up in a completely different place, but you are following your highest guide. You are following your highest timeline. You are following your highest self, the whatever it is that you're supposed to do in this lifetime, and whatever it is that you're called to do. Now, there's ways that you did this before, but you did this sort of integrated into other things that you did. You've never put this primary, you've never put what you wanted to do first up. I'm going to concentrate on this first. Everything else can come secondary. This is the first time you've done this. So, of course, the way in which you ask for help, the way in which you are supported is going to be completely different. So there is a necessity here for you to surrender and have faith. And it's going to be very difficult for you to see long term. It's just about sort of baby steps and moving forward and having that faith that everything's going to work out. Now, for some of you, quite rightly so, that can be a little bit triggering because in the past, again, there's energies that were around you that you were always constantly diffusing. And that took so much of your energy. And you were used to doing things on your own because people let you down. There was, so many different energies in and around you. So that cannot be comparable to where you are now. Now you are in a position of peace. You are in a position to come to fruition, whatever it is that you've put out there. And again, each and every one of you has something that you're working on. These seeds have been planted and you're ready to tend to these seeds. And you do have the wisdom, you do have all of the knowledge that you need to move forward. For those of you who are doubting if you have enough, you absolutely do. And even if you don't, as you move forward, you will be nudged and urged into the places and the situations that will be able to support you in very specific ways of what it is that you need at the time. Let's get you some tarot and get you some more details, but you're in a very exciting place and it's a very expansive place. So you need to make sure that you're expanding your mind and your energy and your opinion of yourself as you move into this energy and as you sort of allow this energy to infiltrate your life. You've always been, a lot of you have been quite nervous about stepping up in this way. And it's not that, you didn't think you had it in you to do it. It's just, and a lot of you didn't necessarily come from this understanding that you weren't good enough. A lot of you were sort of worried about the success and the responsibility that posed for you, because your energy was always being taken and dispersed in so many different ways, because you were always sort of putting out fires here and there, that it was difficult for you to really acclimate to the understanding or the idea in any way, or just attach yourself in any way to this idea that you could have this one commitment that you wanted. I want to go for this one thing. I want to be this one thing. I want to do this one thing, thinking that, my energy won't be going off here and there. I won't ever be able to give my energy 100% to this. So now that all of this has shifted, you are in a position to focus entirely on what you want. But for a lot of you, there's still this energy of, I still need to put out the fires, and what if this goes wrong, and what if I have to do this, and the ball is dropped here. And that's completely understandable because that has happened in your past. However, it's not going to happen now. That is your past. And you attracted that energy in before. You didn't deserve it, but you attracted that energy in before because you were that sort of that gatekeeper energy and you were that nurturing energy. Unfortunately, this happens a lot. You attracted people who really could not follow through. They may have had great intentions. They might have been insanely funny, beautiful spirit, insanely talented, but they weren't able to follow through. And that meant in their lives and your friendship and this, that, and the other. So there was constant disappointment with people that you put your trust in for a lot of you. And it's not that you couldn't see their potential. That in itself was the problem. You saw other people's potential, but it doesn't mean that they are going to reach that potential. So you were always seeing the best in people, which is wonderful. And there's no reason to shift any of that, right? But also putting your energy into somebody that isn't, or a situation that isn't ready to sort of step up. But that's the thing. What you did is you came back and you healed from all of that. You put all the pieces back together and you realized that you were going to put the energy back into yourself. You're going to put the energy back into what you want to do. You were ready to step up. You were ready to follow through. And you're always the one following through. So when you realize that, all of that extra energy went into you. And that's what's happening here. So have compassion for yourself, and also give yourself a huge hug and a huge pat on the back for being here, for saying, I'm going to put my energy first. All of that energy that I put in to other people, and believing in them, I'm going to do for me now. So of course you're somewhere that you've never been before, and of course it's nerve-wracking. And also, when we put all this energy into ourselves, we want to see some kind of payoff. And if you're working for somebody else or you're doing things a different way, the payoff can be there, it can be sensed. Sometimes when you're here and you're working for yourself and you're putting your energy here, it's like it's sort of putting your energy into the void. We have to get used to having that faith that the void is not a bad place. It's a wonderful place. It can show us who we are, and it can support us in this beautiful way. It's like a womb, right? It's this gorgeous place. So we have to have faith as we move forward that the baby steps are going to lead to something else. Now, they may not go according to plan exactly, and that's fine, because we're still working with our higher self. So the plan will be always to work with our higher self, and it doesn't matter how open you are as a human being. Our hindsight is always going to be a little bit limited. So the universe is going to put us in a position for something that's much bigger and grander for ourselves if we remain expansive and open to that energy. So all you have to do is work through these baby steps, just one step at a time, and having faith that that baby step is going to take you to the next baby step, and everything is going to fall into place. Now, that is not an easy feat by any stretch of the imagination. So again, we are holding space for you at this time while you do this, but you are in a very significant place to have all your dreams come true. So have compassion for yourself and understand that all the foundations that you've secured for yourself are exactly what you need to move forward. So do not doubt yourself. It's all going to be just fine. So let's see what we have. We have the Knight of Wands here with your Akasha too. This is all written with the divine support. This is all something that you came in to do and work with. So this is not brand new. This energy that you're working with, that's part of your initiation, part of your blueprint, is something that you're very able to do. It's just a matter of how you execute it in this lifetime. So you're going to do this. You're moving forward with passion. You've got this understanding. You've got enough of this energy and this wisdom to be able to create the world that you want. You've got the King of Cups. Yeah, and you've been working with that emotionality, that beautiful sensitivity and that beautiful vulnerability that you have to move forward. And also enough to say, enough is enough. I'm not putting my energy anywhere else. I'm not putting my energy here. I'm not putting my energy here. I'm not going to do it. It doesn't mean that I don't believe in you. It doesn't mean that I don't think that you can do this. But you will do this without my extra help. You need to do this and show up first. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to save your energy for people who do not just have potential, but are working on that potential and are willing to put themselves out there, willing to work on themselves and meet you halfway in a friendship and in a relationship and all of this. And that's who you're saving your energy for. And well done, because that's bare minimum for you. Ace of Wands, there's nothing you can't do. You've got the passion, you've got the drive. This is also a sense of divine timing, and each and every one of you, again, no matter how you're navigating this information and what you're working on in your life, you sense, without a doubt, this is your time. And you're absolutely right. This is your time. Everything that you've been doing, particularly in the last 8 months to 2 years, has been leading up to this. But some may say, and that is true, everything that you've been doing your entire life has been leading up to this. This is your time to shine. You literally cannot go wrong. Stay with the peace, stay with the compassion for yourself. And if you do find yourself being a little bit hard on yourself, we all do that, that's fine. Laugh it off and move on. Don't get into that self-doubt spiral and do any of that. It is not worth it. Your soul family is coming in. It came in here. Coming together, intuitive hits and soul tribe, and also this understanding of trying to figure out how to move forward. How do I take my gifts, and how do I package them and put them here? That's the way that you were doing it before, and that, again, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Now you're just saying, I'm not going to package them. I'm just showing up. These are my gifts. I know how to use them. There's a very different way of doing that. And as you do that, you shine your beautiful light and others around you see it. You're also attracting the right kind of energy and also the right kind of attention. Because regardless of how many numbers or how many people you work with or how seen you are in the world, right, how big you are in the world, success wise, what you've done is built a great foundation and a great reputation for what you do. And that's really more important, because once you have that strong foundation, that great reputation, and you really have cultivated who you are, and you're not dumbing yourself down in any way, you can take off in any different direction. If you don't have that strong foundation, and then you get this success, but then who am I? What am I doing? It can be very difficult to navigate and navigate the world trying to shift into who you are, when you've got all these eyes on you. So for those of you who are seeking the limelight or moving into sort of a leadership position, and a lot of you are, this firm foundation that you've created for yourself is absolutely incredible. And again, the reputation that you have is absolutely incredible. That is something that you can build on and build on. And the soul tribe and the soul family is coming in for you. People who recognize that, people who want to be around that, people who can elevate you in some ways, because they feel your integrity, they feel your truth. And the ways in which you try to do things before, and again, they're not right or wrong, but it's more like, I'm going to package what I have, or I'm going to try and fit into something in order to make it work. You're not doing that anymore. You're not dumbing yourself down. You're not fitting into anything. You're just showing up and saying, here I am. What have you got for me, life? And you know what? It's working. It's working for you. So stay with that energy. Baby steps. As you move forward, the baby steps are going to lead you onto something else. We absolutely promise you. Keep the faith, keep the peace, keep the compassion for yourself, and keep telling yourself every time you're like, I go into these doubt spirals, and they're going to happen, and every now and again, there's going to be a spanner in the works. That's what happens as you're moving up. Just say, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get through this. It doesn't matter. These things happen. They're a blimp in the works. I'm going to get through this. The fact that I'm here and the fact that I'm doing this, I know there's a divine timing. And keep that energy of knowing that you're in the right place at the right time and everything's going to be okay. And all of these energies that come in, even if there's a few spanners in the works here and there, they will even themselves out so quickly, without you overthinking and putting your energy to them. Don't put your energy to things that aren't working. The universe are taking care of that, moving things out of your way. Stay focused on what it is that you want. And again, for each and every one of you, it looks slightly different. But you have this incredible wisdom. You have this incredible starseed energy. You have this incredible emotionality and empath energy. You have this ancient wisdom within you. You have all of these guides around you right now. Again, ask and you shall receive. Step up and say, each and every moment, what do I do? Every day, what do I do to align with my higher self? Say to the universe, I need signs if I need them. Help me out here. Or, I'm ready to step up. What have you got for me? What's the best thing you've got for me today? I don't want to go low. I just want to go high. And that's fine. If you match your energy and you're aligned with that energy, you will absolutely get what it is that you seek in every single moment. And in every single day, and each one of those days accumulates, and before you know it, you've had this incredible week and you're like, I can't believe I achieved that. And honestly, Pile One, this is just the beginning for you. You are definitely in a place to take off, so keep the faith. So that's what we have for you, Pile One, sending you so much beautiful love and light for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. This is an incredible reading. You've got this without a shadow of a doubt. Go be you. And if you have not subscribed already, we would love for you. I would love for you to subscribe and hit that bell icon, of course, so you never miss a video. And hit the like button. That would be wonderful. It really helps out the channel and it's very much appreciated. Until we meet again, Pile One, take care. Bye-bye. Okay, beautiful Pile Twos. If you chose this lovely shell, then this is yours. This is your reading, and again, we are which magical realm is guiding you, and what do they want you to know right now in this moment? What are their messages to you? So first of all, let's get down to business. Let's find out what magical realm is around you. And again, this realm could be around you right now. These energies could be in and around, could have been in and around you your entire life. But these are the energies that are guiding you right now. Now, I don't want, there's several different energies in here. So I'm going to close my eyes because I don't want to in any way be influenced. So now I'm going to choose a few for you here, because you're not just going to have one energy around you. You're going to have a few. One more is calling. Let's do one more. Okay, wow, you've got a lot of... Okay. All right, so you've got Arcturian energy. Beautiful. So that's feeling safe, wisdom keepers, and concern. Beautiful. That's your energy here. And then you've got the forest frolic, maiden. So there's goddess energy here with the maiden energy moving in, and you've also got fairy elemental energy. I acknowledge my inner child and open my heart to the joy she brings. Beautiful. And then you've got air elemental, which is definitely fairy and fae elements to you too. So air elemental, I embrace the element of air and open to all knowledge and wisdom. And you have the Galactic Federation, which Palwan had too. So you definitely have galactic energy, and you have specifically Arcturian energy. So keepers of wisdom, really. And you've got energy from fairy energy, elemental energy. So the Galactic Federation is collaboration, meetings, and community. And then you have crystal ascension. Wonderful. I'm attuned to the universal wisdom and energy of the crystal kingdom. Love that. So there's a really interesting element of magic and elementals, fairy folk, and then you've got the Galactic Federation energy, and you've got the Arcturian energy too, which is the wisdom keepers and the holding of wisdom and the beauty of wisdom here, and the inner child element. So unlocking of wisdom, unlocking of truths, and bringing back that sort of elemental energy. There's also a nature element here, and of course fairies love humans who look after our environment, Mother Earth, connection to the goddess, again, divine feminine energy that could go through your bloodline, ancient magic coming in, which is a little bit that was in Palwan too. Ancient magic, but preservers of the earth, nature worshippers. Beautiful energy here, but very, very powerful too. You've got the ascension energy here, and you have the wisdom peacekeepers here. All of this energy is in and around you to protect you and be there for you. So let's not get rid of your guides, because that would be rude. Let's put them to the side here, and we're going to put the crystal ascension here on the top. But let's find out what messages they have for you specifically at this time. So we have, again, various different messages across the board from different oracle decks. And of course, we'll get you some more information with tarot a little bit later on. But let's find out what messages they have for you. So again, I'm being called to close my eyes, because you never know that you're doing it, but if you have different colors, your mind might pick them up. I just want to make sure that I'm not being influenced in any way for your messages. So let's start with these. If we need more messages and more clarity, we will move forward. Let's see what they want to say to you. So your first message is mirror. Who or what is triggering you? Okay, let's move this shell a little bit further back. And then you have the masculine. All right. And that's number 42 also. And then you have composure. Okay. And then you have yes. Ooh, love that. So, I mean, that's an answer right there for you. If any of you were putting out some, should I do this? What's going on here? Then your answer is yes. And then you have embrace in number 11. So you have the 1111 and the 222s. If you're coming into synchronicity too, that's coming in energy showing you that your guides are in and around you. So one of the first things that coming in is some of you are energy are being triggered, and it's coming in specifically for, and this is not a surprise considering how much ancient knowledge that you hold and the fact that you are truth seekers and keeping of the what do we have here? I want to say it exactly how the wisdom keepers, right? You're the wisdom keepers. So And this is totally understandable. So we're gonna help you with this as much as we can, at least very much support you. So there's so many different divergent kind of energies out there right now in the collective. And what we want you to focus on the fact that all of these energies are coming up to the surface. Yes, they seem chaotic, but it's important that all these energies come up, right? If you look at all the individual opinions, yes, you're going to get triggered. Because even though the opinions and the energy is coming up to the surface, and all of this energy is very valid and everybody needs their voice heard, people are being taken off in various different ways that are in some ways missing the point. But that's not the point. The point is to be heard, and the point is to bring everything up. And in each individual opinion, or as it appears in the collective, it may seem as though we're going off in different directions that are not really, that are dividing us and not bringing us together. However, in the collective, it's just important at this point that everything comes up. And everybody has free will, and everybody gets to say what they want and what they mean. So it's understandable for some of you who are being triggered. Like, a lot of the truth, right? And there is universal truth in this. A lot of the truth is being not really explored. A lot of people are at this preliminary, sort of very primary level of, getting upset about this, that, and the other, but not getting to the root of everything, and not looking within and seeing how we can make these changes and make the world a better place. So for some of you, it's a little bit difficult for you to be in the collective energy of, for some of you, it's sort of tearing you apart a little bit, and that's perfectly reasonable. Again, we want you to remember that everything that's coming up, it's important that it comes up. It's less about the opinion of and more about the energy of the collective about rising up. How they're rising up and why they're rising up, it sounds a bit silly, but bear with us. It's not that important. The fact that they are is important, right? So it's less about why they are and what the opinions are. It's more about the energy of the collective. So, and this is the only way we know how to rise up, because there's been so much that's gone on over the last hundreds of years and even thousands. There's been so much repression that this is the way that we're rising up. Is it the correct way to do it? Who cares? It really doesn't matter. The fact that it's happening is exciting. So concentrate on the collective energy rising up. That's it. That's all we need to worry about. That's not even what we need to worry about. That's all we need to focus on. And understand that the collective truths in there, they are somewhat getting hidden, or, egos coming in, even narcissism's coming in, all sorts of things. But again, we are egotistical, we are narcissistic, we are all of this as humans, as a collective, and all of this needs to come up too. So our advice to you at this point, if you're getting really exhausted with the collective and you're just kind of done, and you're like, I'm just done, I want to disconnect, I don't know what's going on, this is just crazy, and also it's been 2 years of this, it's been, totally understandable. We want you to come back to self. We want you to come back to this understanding, this absolutely primal understanding that you hold the key, you hold the answers. And it can be frustrating looking around that everybody's putting their energy into X, Y, and Z, and it's just like, it's so plainly in sight for you in that way. But hold that composure, hold that energy, and understand that the collective doing what they're doing is exactly what they need to do. It's a purge, and it's so needed. And it really doesn't matter if it seems like we're at odds right now, because even within the collective, there are groups that are coming together. There are groups that are rising with each other, right? So it's all about the interior. It's all about going back to you. It's all about going back to how it reflects within you, and not necessarily looking for the answers in the external, because the external is chaotic. So if you look for answers, I've gone down that rabbit hole and this rabbit hole, you're going to find whatever your energy is attached to, and you'll find proof of that. That's what you will do. And there's a million different ways to do it. There's no right or wrong answer, right? It's just a matter of where your energy is at. So if you're doing that, pull back from that energy of the collective and let it all go. Let everybody do what they're doing. If they want to go down rabbit holes, let them do it. It's their rabbit hole to go down, right? And it's their energy that they're expending on this. It's absolutely that. Not a big deal. And honestly, we have no idea how each individual person is awakening and ascending and doing what they need to do, or figuring out the past in the collective. So we must trust that each individual person is doing what's best for them and what they're capable of doing at that very moment. All you need to concentrate on is what you're doing, where your energy is. Your energy is probably best pulled out of the collective and back into the inner understanding of self. So if that means that at some point you need to go within and you just need to not worry about the collective and do your own thing, do that. Honestly, the payoff will be very quick if you do that. And understand that, there are, I know we say this in spirituality, everything that we see can be a mirror within ourselves of what we need to figure out within ourselves. And that's true to a certain degree, but sometimes, especially now with the collective being so chaotic, sometimes it's just a matter of coming out of it and coming back within. It's not necessary that you need to learn more. The triggering could be that you're just getting into the energy for you anyway, Paltu, that you're getting into this energy and you just want everybody to be okay and kind of just come back to how beautiful you see that they are, and they're kind of missing the point a little bit. And because they're all getting head up with this, that, and the other, and going off in this direction and that direction, and but that's fine. Again, that's their direction to go into. There's no judgment. Just let them do it. But the triggering is not necessary because there's more for you to learn. If anything, your lesson is to come out of the collective, and then you've done your work in the collective anyway. You've held that light, you've done whatever. Now it's up to each individual to figure out how they're going to do this, right? And where they're going to put their energy. So it's really about coming back to center for you, finding that composure and really clicking into this energy that you have of ancient wisdom and this guidance and this sort of peacekeeping. There's an element of you that's very intently about peacekeeping. So when people are seemingly purposely going off in one direction and sort of yelling at each other, it actually hurts your soul. It actually hurts your soul. But this is the way we've always done it. However, the way in which we're doing it now is much more progressive. It may not seem that way, but there is a way out of this. This is sort of the last hole of before we kind of come into this sort of this movement of not doing that anymore. So this is part of the icky part, right? It's just the icky part. And again, everybody needs to be free to be able to speak and hear themselves, because a lot of people in the collective, individually and in the collective, have not been represented for so long. So this rising up of what we're seeing globally is, no matter how you see it, is sort of beautiful in a way, right? It's beautiful in a way, whether you agree with it or not. There's an energy in the uprising, and it's what we've needed. It's just what we've needed. So coming back to yourself and not playing part of that bigger kind of like upheaval, coming back to yourself and really coming back into that energy of the old playing out, because that's what a lot of this is. The old is playing out, and there's a part of you that's already sort of in the new understanding of connection and this, that, and the other, and there's this frustration of, my goodness, we're still playing out the old. But yeah, sometimes we just need to play out the old until it's played out, right? So we don't get to say how quickly this is going to happen with playing out the old. We're just not in control of that. No white lighter is, no white lighter, I think that's from Charmed. No gatekeeper, no starseed is. We just have to sort of figure this out for ourselves. So coming back to yourself, coming back to your own energy, and coming back to your own wisdom. This is important for you. Now, this would be a great time for you to go within, write that book, figure out your own energy, and sort of disconnect from the energy of the collective right now, and let it do its thing. And again, whatever it's doing, it's wonderful, one way or another. It's just, it is what it is, and not all of it needs to make. Not every part of it needs to make complete sense to us, and that's okay. It just doesn't need to. For you, this is an exercise for you getting back to you, and getting back to that wisdom and putting that wisdom down and solidifying that wisdom away from the collective that's chaotic right now. Because there is an essence of that that's still playing out the old. And yeah, that's not where you are anymore, and that's fine. It doesn't mean that anybody's higher or lower or more advanced or less advanced or I've got it and they don't. That's not true at all. And anybody who tells you that they've got it and you don't, well, they probably don't have it as much as they think they do, right? So just keeping the ego in check, understanding where the ego is working in this. And the ego is brilliant. We don't need to battle it. We don't need to, we don't need to overcome it. We can work with it. The ego actually is the key to a lot of your secrets and a lot of the void aspect of you. So working with your ego in a very conscious manner brings you right into this elevation that you have going on with your energy and your vibration, and directly clicking in to your own magic and your own ancient magic that is coming in and is integrating into this world. So doing your own thing and watching that take off is a way that you can really build your faith back into humanity. Because right now, some of you are not feeling that right now. Yeah. So doing this, so this is a good thing. Are these all upside down? All right. I'm going to do this again. Sometimes I pick up the tarot, and these reverse ones are not necessarily indicative of where you are. So my apologies. Although some of you have come out of a tarot moment, but that's not really what this, the energy of this reading is. So I just want to give you more direct and more relevant energy. So let's do this again. And again, this is just an understanding that you can rewrite and regroup and do anything on your own terms, just as I have done. There's no right or wrong way to do things. So let's see what we've got for you. Here we go. We've got the Nine of Cups. Absolutely beautiful energy. This is the energy that I wanted for you, right? That was old energy. We don't need to focus on that. So you have the Nine of Cups. This is the wish card. You have the Chariot moving forward. There's nothing that you can't do. Focus on yourself. Focus on clicking into your own beautiful energy and your own truth. Your truth is very much connected to universal truth. And yes, there is a universal truth, right? The universal truth is that we are all one, but also extremely unique. And each one of us has a blueprint. And there's no one in the world like you. There just isn't, right? You're not above or below anyone. By any stretch of the imagination, but there is no one like you. So even though we're all connected, we all have divine paths in order to get out there and have our own gifts and healing abilities and skills, whatever it is that you have. So clicking into your ancient knowledge right now, clicking into your truth and your magic is where you go to come out of the collective or the collective energy, which again is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and move forward with your own project. Some of you are thinking about writing that book or putting your energy, whatever you specifically do, or whatever it is that you're supposed to do in this lifetime. Concentrate on that. Write that book, finish that course, whatever it is that you're supposed to do. That in itself is going to realign you with the energy of the collective, and it's also going to help the collective a lot more, rather than you going into the collective and using your energy to vibrate a little bit higher, which is what a lot of starseeds have been doing, and that can be very exhausting because there's so much energy out there of just so much energy out there going in different directions. It can be very difficult. It's like trying to work in traffic, direct traffic, when there's no rules and everybody's going around and doing whatever they want. I mean, it's pretty impossible, right? So take that energy out and use that vibration for yourself, and you can help humanity a lot more by showing people what humanity is. And again, coming back to your wisdom, coming back to whatever it is that you're doing. And for a lot of you, that is something that's very specific. Now, of course, this is a general reading. It's going to look different to each and every one of you. For some of it's a creative project, going back and doing that, but it's something that you'll be able to put back out into the world, integrate into the world, and the energy and the vibration of it will be very high. It's brilliant, and you are supported in this time to do it. In fact, it's part of your lineage. It's part of what you are here to do, to concentrate on yourself and concentrate on your own truths. Now, in the past, some of you didn't necessarily believe in your own truths completely and think that they were enough. You were looking for more research, more proof. You don't need that anymore. The whole world and essentially is sort of blown up in its own way. And this is what we needed to sort of wake up, right? It wasn't going to come overnight in this very peaceful way. It was going to be kind of chaotic. That was just the only way we were going to pay attention. So the most important thing is that we don't go back to how we were before this 2 years happened and occurred. And this is the energy that you can bring into the universe. This is the energy to make sure that we don't go back in any way, that we're not relying on these, we're not relying on our egos, we're trusting our humanity. We're trusting each other, we're trusting ourselves, right? We're not focusing on how we need to see the world and filtering it constantly through our own paradigms, through our own visualizations, from our own knowledge and our own privilege. We're actually seeing the world through and allowing everybody to speak from their own experience without us having to filter our own presence upon that either. Really listening to each other. This is something that you can do. This is something that you absolutely have the patience to be able to do and integrate that and weave that into whatever creative project or whatever it is that you're working on to help elevate the world. So come out of the collective and do what you need to do. Got the Ace of Swords again with your own truth, the King of Pentacles. These are beautiful. So all of what you've been through, everything that you've been through with raising the vibration and working within the collective, that was wonderful. Thank you for your work. But that work is kind of over. And all the ickiness that went along with it, with transmuting all the older energy. It's a lot, right? Now, this is about putting your energy first and putting your truth first. And your truth reflects the universal truth. And the universal truth is we're sovereign beings. No matter what you choose and whatever you do, as long as you're in alignment with your own soul and you believe in what you do, you're going to be fine, right? End of story. That's it. We can say that there's one way of doing it, there's a right way, there's a wrong way, but that is the only way, right? We're sovereign. That's it. We got this. We absolutely got that. Bring that truth into absolutely everything that you do. And again, focus it very much on what you're doing, whatever creative project or whatever it is that you're focusing on. And that will be front and center. Not only will it help you click back into seeing the world as a potential for an amazing amount of humanity, but also it's going to put you and propel you where you want to be on a very physical way, sort of in the leadership role that you're looking for, right? So don't worry about getting lost in that energy and the collective. And don't worry about the collective. The collective's doing exactly what it needs to do. It's being worked through. It's happening. There's no, we're not losing. Darkness will always be there. There's nothing wrong with darkness, right? We don't have to fight it. Darkness is there. The light will transfuse. Everything will transmute. It will be fine. Everything will be fine. Concentrate on yourself. Bring yourself back to matter. Bring yourself to your own truth. And really sit in that too, with that composure and understanding who you are. And once you bring all that energy that was out into the collective back into yourself, everything's going to make sense. You're going to build that firm foundation back into yourself. And also you're going to really concentrate on what you're really here to do. And your blueprint really does signify that you're here to bring the greater truth, that you're here to hold space for others. But no one's going to hear you necessarily if you're just trying to speak above everybody who's yelling. So come out of the yelling and just speak in a kind of a different way. And then people who are ready to hear you will be able to, will hear you. And you'll feel that power. You need to come back to your own power. So there's no reason right now that you shouldn't be able to, any project or any truth that you're concentrating on, if it's in alignment and who you are, and again, not driven by the ego or, dare we say it, narcissism. But with you, it isn't. That need to be right. I know what I'm doing, all of that. That expansive energy of being open, listening to absolutely everything and everyone, understanding that everybody has different ways of doing things and what works for you may not work for somebody else. Keeping that energy of all of this and really grounding into it and saying, this is what I'm going to do with my energy. I'm going to present my work. I'm going to stick with my truth, which is all encompassing. It involves every other truth, and I am going to really click into, you've got the chance right now to click into your blueprint and produce some really important work. And again, that's going to look different for each and every one of you. For some of it, it'll be science. For some of you, it'll be working in child education. For some of you, it will be working in that creative project. But what it won't be is it won't be upholding the old narratives that we have. It will be brand new, bringing in this new element of what we need. So go back to you, go back to that composure, bring back your mind, and don't worry about what's going on in the external right now. You've absolutely got this, and you're going to see the external shift. You're going to see the shift in the external once you come back to self and concentrate on this project that you've got going on. Or if you're ready to move into that project, you've been thinking about it, this is the time. That's the divine timing. You've absolutely got this. So that's what we have for you, Pal 2. Beautiful energy, beautiful, beautiful energy. We are sending you so much love and support and light for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. If you have not subscribed, we would love to have you. Don't forget to hit that bell icon. And of course, give this beautiful reading a like if you liked it. It really does help out the channel, and we truly, truly appreciate it. There's lots of links down below, free courses, lots of things for you to pick up on and get around for extra energy and support. So they're all listed down below. If you feel your intuition heading in that direction, feel free to check them all out. Until we meet again, Pal 2, take care, go be you. Bye-bye. Okay, beautiful Pal 3s. If you chose this lovely shell, then this is your message. And again, we are finding out which magical realm is guiding you and what do they want you to know at this particular time. So first thing we need to do is find out which magical realm. And I'm going to close my eyes for this because I do not want to be influenced. So we're going to choose a couple of them because chances are you have many magical realms around you. Now, this could be a magical realm that's been around you your whole life, or just magical realms that are working with you right now or stepping up right now. So, and then we will find out what messages they have for you. So I'm going to choose a few. All right. Beautiful. Let's see what we have for you. So you have the sun goddess, you've got goddess energy. I celebrate each sunrise and recognize the healing energies of the sun. Wonderful. Serious goddess energy coming in. You've got starseed energy, self-memories and identity. And you have Arcturian energy too. Feeling safe, wisdom, keepers and concerns. Concern, I feel like that was Pile 2. So all of you have got starseed energy so far, Pile 1, 2, and 3. And then you have angelic energy. So specifically Archangel Raphael, number 9, too. I invite Archangel Raphael to bring healing and knowledge into my life. Beautiful. So you've got goddess energy, you've got the divine feminine energy, you've got starseed and specifically Arcturian energy. So the starseed energy there. And then of course you've got angelic energy, Archangel Raphael in and around you too. You've got that healing energy coming in, healing and knowledge. And then you've got this beautiful goddess energy too. So opening up to the sun energy being out there. Some of you may even be sort of Leo or have heavy Leo in your chart, but that sounded weird, heavy Leo. Sounds like a band. So having all of this energy in and around you. So we've got starseed, we've got angelic, we've got goddess energy, divine feminine. Let's put your guides up here. We're not going to get rid of them because that would be rude, but we are going to put them right there. Now let's find out what your guides have for you, what messages they have for you. And again, I don't want to be influenced. I'm going to close my eyes and get you some messages, and then we'll get you some clarification to even more energy and wisdom from the tarot a little later on. So let's start off with, all right, these two came out. Okay, well, you know, I don't want to take back a card, but you can have this one. All right, let's see what we have for you. So Lemuria, wonderful. Creating heaven on earth, it's happening. Beautiful. That's your first one. Then you've got power and the full moon, 16th. I believe the full moon is coming in on the 16th of this month, actually. These are timeless readings, but it just so happens. And then you have simplicity. Deep, profound serenity is expanding in my life. Beautiful. And then you have growth. Boundaries. 2 here, and then I journey within to meet my higher self and find true happiness, and you have transformation, number 3. So you have this energy of this wisdom that you have, bringing it into your own life, into your own truth. So this is a message of being able to really understand what your truth is and integrating it fully into your life, fully into your life on your own terms. And that's going to bring up your power, your beautiful understanding of power and how you show up in the world. So how you show up in the world is changing a little bit. You're growing, you're transforming, you're moving into a different version of yourself. Now, you are, without a doubt, heavily influenced in a good way by your guides, and you're absolutely supported at this time. It's really important that you stay with that energy. Very, very, very important that you stay with that energy of support, without a shadow of a doubt, because that energy of support is moving you forward and showing you how powerful you are. Now, you might have had these little things that have happened in your life. They don't have to be dramatic and life-changing. They can be very, very small and sort of incidental, very simple in a way. But the universe has been showing up. Your guides have been showing up to tell you that they're there. They're showing you these little signs and giving you these little synchronicities. Now, it's really important, Pile 3, that you pay attention to these synchronicities because they're kind of small. But they're happening in succession. They're happening all the time. So if you put them back to back and you see them all sort of as a story that plays out, you can see how powerful they are. And you can see how in touch you are with your guides. Now, there's a reason why they are guiding you at this time. They've always guided you. You've always been supported. But they're showing themselves in a much higher sort of degree than they did before, because you are on the precipice of this intense sort of growth and transformation period in a way that you've never been before. So it's important for you to protect the time that you have with yourself, and know, you don't have to shut yourself down. There's no threats or anything like that. Nothing big. But it's important that you stay on track and do what it is that you're supposed to do. Now, this is a general reading. It'll be different for each and every one of you, of course. But this is about something about putting something in action, moving something forward, a profound sense of alignment, which moves you forward, which accelerates your power. You can feel it. You can feel this divine timing. You can feel you moving into something and a territory of your life that you've never been in before. So yeah, it means that you're in a brand new beginning, and that can be kind of, for some of you, it's been a little bit debilitating because you don't know which way to go, or you're not really trusting it because you've not been there before. Totally understandable. That's why it's really important to look out for the signs. Oops, sorry, got really excited. Look out for the signs and look out for the synchronicities. Your vision is being upheld and being supported very much by the universe and by yourself, because you are the universe, but by your guides, and they really are showing you that they're there at every moment. Now, there's a theme for each and every one of you and how they show up with these synchronicities. So it's going to look different for each and every one of you. For some of you, it's unicorns, or for some of you, it's the word believe, or for some of you, it's a phrase, or for some of you, it's a song. But wherever you go, you're seeing this everywhere. And, most of you, if you're here, you're still here and you're on this reading, you'll be like, oh yeah, no, I get that. And it would have shown up. They're not being subtle in any way. They're almost like, oh, you're going through your life, da 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 da, and all of a sudden they show up and they go, wait, we want you to know that you're here. And it'll be out of nowhere. And again, if you counted all them up in succession, one after the other, you'd be able to see that they are there in this this army support form to let you know that no matter what you do right now, if you stay in alignment, you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong anyway. There's no right or wrong to living your life. It just is, right? So your whole thing is bringing the essence back of humanity, bringing not just the old wisdom back, but the energy of the old wisdom back, the humanity, the expansiveness, the beauty, the compassion, the gorgeousness, right? You could say that in society before, society didn't really put that on a pedestal beforehand. And in the last 2 years, we've been through so much that it's, some of that has been dumbed down a little bit or beaten out of us, right? There's only so much you can do with everything that everybody's been through in the last 2 years. And it's been global, no matter what. We all know what we're talking about, right? Even if you're not in the same boat as somebody else, we've all been in the same storm for the most part. So it's just a matter of coming back to this essence of humanity, and there's something that you have within you. There's an integrity within you that's rather rare, and there's a truth within you that's rather rare, actually. And you hold this energy from past lives that you had in Lemuria, that you had in Atlantis. And even though you've acted in certain ways, because you've come here to be human, yes, you've come here to be human. I know everybody goes on about 5D, but you come here to have a human experience. You can take that human experience and you can infuse the 5D and you can shift things, but we're here to have a human experience. So it's not like you're here to be, you know, a spiritual leader in that way. It's not really that. And you're here to be, you know, have this only this pure life. You're here to make the mistakes and to figure things out, to change your mind constantly, to, you know, to mess it all up, but then come out of the mess like the phoenix, right, rising from the ashes. You're here to do all of that. You're here to really feel the extremes of life, and a lot of you have. You put yourself into situations and all sorts of different ways of being in the world just to experience them. And that's what you're here. You're an experiencer, right? You're here to experience all facets of life. And what this means is that you are able to see things from everybody else's point of view. No, you don't know what anybody else has exactly gone through, although you have extreme empathic ability, so you kind of do. But you are able to see what somebody else been through and hold space for them without having to filter your own version of reality onto their version of reality. And that is rare. It's rare, and we've seen it a little bit less in the last 2 years because people have gotten really fastidious about what they believe, and have sort of narrowed their viewpoint a little bit. And that's fine. That's all part of what we're doing and growing and moving out of it. But you are coming out of that energy, and that's not what you're here to do. You're here to have that really expansive, beautiful energy and to be able to see absolutely all points of it. And it's a really beautiful ability to be able to see all points of everything and see how it all comes together. You do very well in chaos. It doesn't feel very good on your body, and nor should it, because you can take on a lot of energy, and then that energy can really, you know, start working in your body, and then you can feel really, oh, what's going on? But you can take on a lot of that chaotic energy because you can diffuse it. And you can see where it all comes from, right? So you have this beautiful sort of objectivity of being able to work in this expansive energy. And this is what you're here to do. You're here to bring that expansive energy, which you already own, and you've owned it. But you're here to infuse it and integrate it in sort of a brand new way. Now, we've talked about this in Pile 1 and Pile 2, where there's been projects and ways to step up in new directions. And this is, you know, this is the same for you. Also, you have a way. Now, for you, a lot of this might be coming from the external world. There might be, you know, situations or not promises, but situations that are coming to you where you have these opportunities that are coming to you from the external and saying, would you like to do this? For some of you, it's a matter of, I wouldn't have chosen this for myself, but this seems very exciting. Let's do it. But you are attracting it because your energy is aligned, and that's absolutely wonderful, right? So keep everything simple. Notice everything that's in and around you. Notice all this beautiful support that you're getting, and they're there for a reason, because this is a really integral part of your healing and an integral part of you stepping into your power in a brand new way. Before, the way in which you stepped into your power, you did it at certain times when you felt safe, but this is you stepping into your power and saying, this is me, take me or leave me. This is huge for you. And it's kind of a game changer. It changes every aspect of your life, every layer of your life. It changes the way life reacts to you. It changes the way people react to you. You're owning every single part of yourself. And not all of it is absolutely wonderful. You know, you've got a lot of darkness. We've all got a lot of darkness, but you've gone in and owned it all. You know, before, you kept your darkness to yourself. So you were always, you know, not wondering if people could use it against you, but you were aware of your darkness, but you didn't own it in the way that you've owned it recently. So as you own it, you become that darkness. And in that, there's this real badassery to you that no one can really say anything to, you know, whereas before you were, not that you were hiding aspects of yourself, but you wanted to present yourself in a very specific way, and you wanted to present yourself in a way that you really were, that beautiful aspect of self, and that aspect of you absolutely exists. but it was sort of at the detriment of not really acknowledging or wanting others to acknowledge the dark part. Now you're like, yeah, yeah, I'm a fuck up. Yeah, I'm this, but I'm also this, and I'm this, and that. Now that you're owning it, there's a new sense of ownership. There's a new sense of power coming in for you, which means that there's a new expansiveness. And again, this transformation is bringing in some of this, and this came up right at the bottom, that Ace of Pentacles. This is a new way for you to be in the world. It's really freeing for you. Your whole thing has been about freedom, but real freedom. I know there's been a lot of talk about freedom globally, but real freedom comes from within. And this is something that you've been working on your entire life, to feel free in every aspect of your life. And of course, to have that physical freedom, to feel that too, to do what you want to do on your own terms. It's not just sort of just out there. It's not a concept. It's grounding that freedom into who you are. And this way of being for you is a new way of being, in a way. It's a new growth. It's a new level. So it presents a new way. It presents a new sort of freedom aspect for you that you've never been before. Which can bring up some nervousness because you've never been here before. That's something that's coming up. That's a theme really just in general. But it's also exciting. So concentrate on the exciting part if you can. You've got that strength. That's beautiful. And look at that sun that you had too. Regardless of the Leo energy, really, this is a divine timing. This is your strength coming in. And the way in which you're preserving your strength, the way in which you're showing your strength, is you're showing the darker side of you, which is the most beautiful side of you in some ways. It's the part of you that existed. That's the part of you that wanted to kind of die or die off. That's the part of you that you're really bringing to the light. And it creates this incredible strength within you. And it's a new plateau for you. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, the Ten of Cups, bringing into these hopes and wishes, but particularly with family, bringing communities alive, tearing down the old. I mean, the one thing that I hope we can all agree on is that we were not doing things globally very well before in the last 2 years. And regardless of what happens, truly hope that we don't go back to the way things were. So tearing down old systems which are already crumbling. They never worked anyway. They worked for, 1%. Nobody cares about that anymore. But building up new communities based on commitment of humanity, right? Different ways of resources, dividing resources and how people see each other. This is a way that you can bring in this energy. This is the way that you can stand for that kind of truth and humanity, right? And humility too. Bringing in that energy of humility. It's just when you see it and you're around that kind of humility, not somebody who's constantly degrading themselves because, they don't have enough confidence. It's a little bit different. Heart goes out to anybody who does that. But there's a difference between being humble and steering away from any kind of like light or presence. But being around that humility, it's a beautiful, beautiful energy. And this is something that you can bring in, right? This is something that you have. So you have the Nine of Pentacles. And it's reversed, but it's next door to the Nine of Cups, which actually came up, I believe, in pile 2, the previous pile. This is your wish card. There's nothing that you can't do here. It's just a matter of having faith that the way in which you are approaching it is going to be successful. Now, there's a part of you that's entirely quirky and works outside of the box. However, for somebody who's entirely quirky, a little bit of real talk here, pile 3, you've tried to do things quite conventionally before. And have they worked for you? For a small amount of time, yes. They have, but it's not progressive enough for you to do this long term. So you're finally stepping up and saying, you know what, I'm doing this on my own terms. I am doing this on my own terms. I got this. I'm doing this outside of the box. I'm embracing it. And I'm going with the flow. You have the strength and the vision to be able to hold it. So you've got this. You've done this conventionally before, and there's still something that you needed to dumb down. Now, the way in which you're stepping up now is really encompassing within, again, every aspect of you, which makes you very powerful. When you did it the conventional way, you had to hide or felt as though you needed to hide parts of yourself in order to sort of fit in and get it done. So this is a new way for you to do it. And again, this expansiveness is there and this humility is there, which is a very attractive trait. So you're the one that's moving yourself forward, and you're doing this completely on your own terms again. And it's important for you to acknowledge that you stay on your own terms. And this is not an ego thing, like I'm doing it on my own, I'm not listening to anyone else. Far from it. This is you very much connected to your inner guides, your outer guides, who again are there for you at every step of the way. But the way in which you were doing things before wasn't working. So you're going to take yourself off that tree, which you can do for the hanged one, for the hanged man. Take yourself down off that. All you need to do is reach up and say, I'm done. So you were in a timeout trying to figure out what to do. And now you're saying, I'm not going to combat anymore. I'm not going to do things in a way that compromises any aspect of myself anymore, because at the end of the day, I get, marred results or a myriad of different kinds of results. It's not as clear and as true as it could be. I know how I'm doing this now. I'm doing this on my own terms. Let's get you a few more cards here. But this attitude is actually going to be respectfully received, and it's going to set you apart from others. And it's also something that's been a long time coming to be able to, you've got the Ace of Swords. Now, this is pile 2, I believe, too. So, it's up to you. See where your intuition goes always, obviously. But you might get a little bit more you might get something out of pile 2 also, because some of these cards and I shuffled them so much between each and every one of these piles. So, there's a similar amount of energy here, so you might want to check out pile 2. So sticking to your truth, and specifically the way in which you work. The way in which you work, again, is going to look very different to the way everybody else's work. So don't you dare compare yourself to anybody else right now. It will not work for you. All it will do is go against you, and you just don't need that, right? Because sometimes your head, your practical mind, your beautiful practical mind who comes in and is wired to keep you safe and to keep you somewhat sane, supposedly, although it really doesn't do that. It's not wired for joy. It's going to, give you that doubt. Maybe we should be doing it this way. No, stay with your truth. So it's going to look a little bit different. So don't compare yourself to other people and how things are doing, but feel free, and I think this is very positive, feel free to check out what's working for other people and what you like about how other people are showing up, and seeing if that could try that on for you. All of that is absolutely wonderful. That's a different kind of comparison that I think can be very helpful for you right now. But comparing like somebody else's life or somebody else's work, or the way in which they've specifically gone about it with what you're doing, is not going to work for you. But try on different things, and you're very good at taking a little bit of this and a little bit of that and putting it together and providing what you need to move forward. You're very good at that. You're very good at that on a very physical level too, putting together like little furniture or whatever, getting little bits and pieces together and helping somebody out, or doing that for yourself. And you're very good at doing that on sort of an auric level too, gathering different energies that you need to move forward. So just stay true to yourself, and stay true to, you've got the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. So this community that you want to build, that's already there for you, you can already feel it and see it. You're already a part of it in your own way. But also the way in which you come about it or execute that in your own terms will be absolutely aligned with who you are when you really give into that energy of, yes, I'm going to do this my own way. And the minute you do that, actually, that strength will really come in, and it's going to support you in a way, because as you're doing that, again, to reiterate, you are absolutely encompassing all aspects of yourself that wants to be seen and heard, and wants to be acknowledged as you move on the path of becoming who you are. So this intense power that you have, it's coming into fruition. It's coming into this full moon energy, and you can feel it, and that divine timing, which all of you have, pile 1, 2, and 3, this divine timing of knowing that it's absolutely your time to be here and do this. You have the skills, you have the mentality, now you have the strength. That was the one thing that you felt like you were missing. Now you're incredibly brave, incredibly curious and courageous, and all of that without a shadow of a doubt. But this systematic strength of keeping you there, at the foundation at your first chakra, is something that you felt as though that you lacked. You didn't actually lack it. However, it seemed that way because you were trying to fit in a conventional way, and taking parts of yourself and not honoring every single part of yourself. But now that darkness is there, and you've embraced that darkness, and that darkness is absolutely wonderful for you. It really shows you who you are, and it shows you, and it gives you it unlocks sort of the box to the secrets of the world, to the darkness. You're not afraid to go there and understand everybody. And because you are able to understand other people's points of view, no matter how dark they get, there's an element of compassion to you and this openness, which again is very rare in this world. You know, there's only a certain amount of compassion until people feel compromised, and then they're like, no, that person's evil. But you hold space no matter what for others, and that's incredibly rare, and it's extremely powerful. And the way in which you transmute energy, you can take the energy of what you stand for and you can build communities from that. So this is very important that you do this your own way. Again, it doesn't need to make sense to anyone else, but you know, actually as you move forward and you start proving yourself, right, you don't need to, but you will. Other people will be like, I didn't realize that, you know, I got to be honest with you. I wasn't sure what you were doing, but you kind of rocked it. You know, you're going to get a lot of these conversations, going to get a lot of these comments. So you're not doing it to get anyone's praise, but just keep doing what you're doing. People very quickly will realize the way in which you're handling your life is absolutely brilliant for you, and you've absolutely got this. So keep being you. And also there's an element of family, bringing together families, creating a new family for yourself. There's also a soul tribe coming in for you, all of this energy, and that's part of who you are in this lifetime too. To have that kind of energy and cultivate that energy, cultivate new environments, cultivate new communities for people. That's why you're here on earth, and it's very powerful, and you're able to do it. And don't think for a second you're here to do it on your own. So just start this energy, go at it, stay on your unique path, and others will come to you. Once you stay in your strength and show your power, you'll vibrate that energy, and others will come to you and support you in many various different ways. So keep up the great work. Do what you're doing. That's what we have for you, Pile 3. So we are sending you so much love and light for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Go be you. Absolutely wonderful reading. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a video, 2 a week, 2 readings. We have so many ways down below in the links to work with this energy for extra support. Don't forget to like the video if you did like the video and you got something out of it. It really does help the channel, and it's much appreciated. Until we meet again, go shine your beautiful light, Pile 3. Take care. Bye-bye.